Hi there, sports fans. This is Playitright TV, and I'm Quinito, Henson.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're very excited to have you. As always, we would appreciate your comments, your suggestions, and your feedback. We love to hear from you. Quinito and I, we love sports just as much as you do. And today, Quinito, of course, we are talking to a very, very, very important person in Philippine sports. He has just been named as chairman of the Philippine Sports Commission. Please welcome to Play It Right, Chairman Noli Eala.
Hello.
Welcome, Chairman.
Hi, Quinito. Hi, Dyan. Oh, it's so good to be on your show finally.
Oh, yes. And also, the roles are reversed. Often, I've been a guest on your show, Chair. And so now it's your turn.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here.
It's birthday of Dyan Castillejo, so we want to wish her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dyan. Happy birthday.
Wow, thanks, guys. Thanks. Appreciate that.
All the way in New York. But, well, it's very rare, Chaircom, that we have only one guest on center stage. And it's our honor and it's our privilege to have you in the spotlight for this show.
I'm very honored. It's really nice to be on your show. I've seen a lot of your shows, actually. I've seen a lot of the guests. I've seen, the very interesting discussions and topics that you've done in the show, and I'm just very happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, Chairman, there's so many things to talk about when it comes to Philippine sports. Such exciting times.
Absolutely.
First, wanted to ask you, how was your first week or so been as chairman of PSC?
Dan, I've been barely in the office for 2 weeks, and I feel like I've been there like for 6 months already. There's just a lot of familiar faces in the first place, no? And a lot of people who come to me, I know already. There's also a lot of work. It's really a ton of work, and a lot of functions that I did not imagine. Particularly functions that involve diplomacy and talking to people and connecting with a lot of government agencies. It's a position that obviously doesn't stand alone, and you have to really work with a lot of people to make it work. So it's been very challenging. It's been tiring, but I feel good because I'm out of my comfort zone in a way, because this is government, and I have to understand how government works. But at the same time, I'm in my comfort zone because I love sports. I have a passion for it. I know what's going on in sports from the outside, and now I'm in the inside. So I basically feel that I can really contribute.
Well, Chair, how did you react when the news hit you that you have been appointed chairman of the PSC?
I've been reading a lot of the write-ups about you're a nominee, you're one in the short list, etc. And I said if it's God's will, then it will happen. And that was my attitude since the inauguration of the president. And I just went about it my own thing. I still have my family business, and of course my other engagements, including my media engagements. And so I was just going about. And one day I heard the first time I heard about it was officially, or at least it was already moving. I was watching the AVC Cup. I was about to watch the AVC Cup in Phil Sports Arena. I had asked tickets from Taxusara, and he said, you just connect with this guy and then give you tickets. And I was there. I was having dinner with my family, and I get a call, and I was told that, in about a week's time, it will be announced already. So I was like so excited and so happy. And then, I was just entering Phil Sports Arena, and I was already looking at it and saying, oh, this is actually with the PSC. So I was already observing things there and looking at how things are operating. And then of course that week passed and nothing happened. So I said, siguro wala pa rin, no? And then finally the night before, that was after the Gilas game, wherein I saw the president watching the Gilas game. That was a Monday. It was Tuesday night when I finally got the call that my papers would be released already. And they advanced to me my oath of office and the letter of the president. And it just really hit us. I was about to have dinner then, and it was really just a celebratory time for us in the house, and we were just enjoying the moment, so to speak. But I was also very pensive because I really felt like, my God, is this something that I want to take up? All of a sudden, it hits me. But at the same time, I'm saying to myself, I'm just so excited and pumped up to do the work that has been entrusted.
Yes. Well, Chairman, among other things, what I wanted to ask was, right now we know that Bongku is one of the commissioners. Can you let us know, and of course there are 4 spots for commissioners. Can you let us know who are going to be appointed soon, perhaps?
Well,
I know you guys.
I really don't know who's going to be appointed. I have given my nominees, my candidates who I felt will help me, because I really want the working board. I also want people who have specific expertise in certain areas that I feel will be helpful to the commission. And at the same time, people that I can trust. No political color. There was really no political endorsements, at least with my nominees. And I understand that one of them has already submitted everything that is needed. So I'm expecting and I'm hoping that at least one will go through. But again, it's not for me to say. I think it will be really the office of the president that will make that announcement.
How many more commissioners?
Three more.
Just 3 more. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Chair, I also wanted to ask you, who were among the first whom you reached out to when you heard the news? Was one of them perhaps the former chairman, Butch Ramirez?
Absolutely. The very first guy that I texted that night was Butch Ramirez.
Yeah.
Because I've been wanting to text him actually when my name came out, and just to reach out and tell him that I've been nominated, etc., etc. But I felt that it was premature, and it was like it was not the right time. But right after, when I got my papers, I saw my papers, and I knew it was already the real thing. I couldn't even believe it. I said, this is the real thing now. So I messaged Chairman Butch, and he didn't reply. He didn't reply the whole night. All right, so the following morning, I woke up early. I was about to do my daily exercise, and I get a message from Chairman Butch at about siguro 5:30 in the morning.
5:30? Okay.
Yeah, and he said, because I had a lot of congratulatory messages already, and he said, congratulations, please message me on this other phone. And that's when I called him. So he was my first call, and I spoke to him for about 15 minutes. And we had a really good, discussion over the phone. And I invited him to the first flag ceremony, and he said, yeah, I'll be there. So that was really the first thing I did, and I thought it was appropriate because and I've always done that, Quinito. Even when I was in the PBA, it was always the first thing I did was really also call June Bernardino then. So that's always been the way I've done things, because I feel that it's a sign, showing of respect, as well as hoping that there's continuity in my administration with the past. So that's something that I've done in the past as well.
There's so many things on your plate, I'm sure, but it is going to be such a busy year for Philippine sports 2023. What are some of the first things that you're going to do? I know that today you just met with EJ Obiena. From grassroots to elite, there's so many things that is under the PSC. So what are some of the first things that you really want attended to?
Well, the first thing that the things that I'm doing now is really preparing for our strategic planning. No? So I'm doing a lot of consultation. This is the reason why I'm getting a lot of NSAs and meeting with them. I've been talking to a lot of the PSC partners. I'm scheduling a lot of meetings. In fact, even fund the agencies that fund the PSC. I'm supposed to meet with the Bureau of Customs tomorrow, so that I can talk to the commissioner of the Bureau of Customs, because there is also a portion where the PSC is entitled to some share in some taxes that are collected, no, from
Really?
imported equipment. Yeah, and this is the thing. There's a lot really in the
I thought
PSC.
it was Pagcor lang. I didn't know that
No, there's actually a lot. No, there's PAGCOR, there's PCSO, there's imported equipment. There's our share in the Philippine Racing Commission. We have a share in PhilPost. So all of these things, I think if you add them up, kahit paano it will add to our fund. And of course, then I'm also trying to build now my program for the private sector. So that's one. A lot of consultations being done now. Of course, I'm also slowly finalizing my programs, which I hope to present to the PSC board. No, so I'm meeting with my planning team. I'm meeting with my management committee, composed of the executive director and the deputy executive directors and the other heads. No? So we're putting together at least my priority areas. And when you talk about my priority areas, it's really basic lang yan. It's grassroots development. It is support for the elite national athletes, meaning what kind of programs we will be rolling out for them and incentives that we want to pursue. And then, of course, supplemental appropriation for the PSC. So through what I call the Gintong Alay concept. No? So again, that's a lot. It's and then there's of course the admin side which I have to take care. There are a lot of budget matters that have to be finished because it's necessary for the training of our athletes, and I'm going to make that presentation to Congress next week. So I'm also doing a lot of liaising with the legislators to make sure that we can push our agenda and our budget. So that alone has consumed my days a lot. And I'm working 11, 12 hours a day. So my white hair is growing and growing every day.
That's a lot on your plate, Chair. But you mentioned, or Dyan mentioned, EJ Obiena paying a courtesy call on you. And can you tell us the situation with EJ Obiena? How could that have been averted? And will a situation like that ever come about during your administration?
When I hear the versions, I cannot imagine how it became so blown up, out of proportion. It seemed like, and EJ speaks about this as well. There are mistakes. Obviously, there are errors, but I don't think it was ever a deliberate error or a deliberate act to make someone look bad in front of anyone. So I feel that there was just very little communication, and obviously the system as well was wrong. Giving a lot of work to athletes that that was not their work. So when I met with him today, we were actually talking about this, and the first thing that he told me was, my only request, Chairman, is that my coaches be part of the national coaches, the national pool, so that you can go directly to my coaches. The reason why the PSC could not go to their coaches is because they were not part of the national pool.
Right.
And because the PATAFA did not want to accredit his coaches. So I think that's the first thing, now that he's a national athlete once again, reinstated, and I think there is new thinking in the I mean, I would really encourage and enjoin the PATAFA to really endorse all of his entire team to us, so that we can go directly and not burden EJ anymore. The second thing is, I understand that EJ has already come up with his own administrative team, so that's also helping. But obviously, uh, under this new PSC board, we will strive to ensure that this does not happen, not only to EJ, but to any other athlete, because we feel that the athletes, one, must be taken care of. Second, they must be freed from whatever other distractions that they may have from now until the Olympics. I think that's important, because clearly the formula has been, if you give them everything, all the support, and they don't have to worry about anything, including their families, I
Yeah.
think they're going to perform. And I think that's going to be key as we move forward in the sports program as well, in particular to Paris in 2024.
So is the situation with EJ going to be similar to what Heidelin has had, and let's say Carlos Yulo, who trains abroad, but his coach is being paid by the PSC, and Heidelin as well, her Chinese coach was also paid by the PSC. Is that going to be sort of the setup now with EJ? Because parang before he was given the whole lump sum, and
Right.
then he had to appropriate it the way he deemed possible. So will you be getting into the nitty gritty of, let's say, okay, this is your apartment money, your food money, your travel money, um, something like that?
Well, again, as you know, we just provide the financial assistance. We don't. We're not directly in charge with the athletes as well as the coaches. It has to be through the PATAFA, and the PATAFA must endorse all of them to us. And what we're saying is, if they do endorse the entire team of EJ, which we will ask from them, no,
Yeah.
we will certainly take care of everything else. You know, the way the salaries of the coaches, and we will provide whatever is the request that is being that's going to make EJ successful. So I think that's the way I want to take care of this right now. Again, we have to work with Patafa, because they're the direct NSA that works with EJ, and I don't think EJ wants to bypass them as well. And so I'm
Yeah.
hoping that Terry Capistrano and the rest of the Patafa board, and many of those people are friends of mine, personal friends. So I hope that we can really come up with a very good system, protocols that will help not only EJ but all of the athletes of Patafa.
I think the outlook is very bright for elite
Yes.
athletes, especially under your administration. But, Com-Chair, let's not talk about your other priority, grassroots development, talent identification, Batang Pinoy, maybe all the way crossing to the PNG. How will all of that mesh with your plans, especially since the DILG, the Department of Education, are all partners in this program of grassroots development?
Well, again, I don't have to really reinvent anything. Everything has been provided by the PSC law for 6847. And there is a provision there and a mechanism called the Sports Development and Promotion Council. In that particular law or provision, it already includes the DepEd, DILG, LGUs, and all other partners to be part of that council that will promote sports programs at the grassroots level. And that's what I want to activate, whether it is through an EO. I understand that there was an EO back in 1993, which has not been used, and basically it has lost its teeth. No? So either we abrogate that EO, replace it with a new executive order, or I propose this as a legislative measure to Congress and to the Senate, and whichever is better, then obviously we'll use that. That will become the organization that will push the grassroots program at every level in society, you know, and basically that will also involve the NSAs, because my program is about not only getting elite athletes or athletes already, but getting everyone to play sports. This is what I call creating pathways to success.
Yes.
There is a parang a formal way, which is the school system up to the tertiary level, and there is the informal way, which is really this pathway, this sports councils. No, we
Mm-mm.
will create programs where the NSAs will get involved, the LGUs will get involved, uh, very focused on what is the needs of a geographical area, very focused on what are the skills in that particular area, and we will bring the NSAs there. The PSC will fund the NSAs so that they can actually coach children, train the trainers, and provide competition opportunities. From there, we will bring them maybe to the Batang Pinoy. From there, hopefully, they get to the Philippine national games and to the national teams. Of course, not everyone can become an athlete, as Dyan knows. No, some kids will probably get into coaching. Some kids will probably get into officiating, and that's where we also have that we will tie up with the National Academy of Sports. So
Right.
again, everything must come together, and the backbone of that is the National Sports Development and Promotion Council. So with that, we will provide the funding, we will provide the coordination, and we hope that all of the stakeholders will get involved so that we can have a truly national grassroots program.
Yeah, that sounds super exciting. I mean, like as well as you know, as we know, all know, we have incredible talent in sports. I mean, in the provinces especially. I was just interviewing this amazing weightlifters from Zamboanga, like Sarno, and all these like little girls who are all like doing amazing. So,
Yeah.
but yun na nga, kailangan lang talaga ng program, and support, and all that. So, um, you also mentioned very recently about Gintong Alay. So I was a Gintong Alay athlete under Michael Keaton.
There you go. There
And
you go.
so we were chatting in the wake of Lydia. It was so good to reconnect. It's like brought back so many memories. But what aspects of the Gintong Alay program are you going to be implementing in your administration?
Actually, when I reminisce on the Gintong Alay program, I really think, and the big picture for me is there was so much talent that was coming from the grassroots, and
Yeah.
that were given so many opportunities by the Gintong Alay, and that's the way I'm thinking. It's about really providing opportunities to the talent that we have in the Philippines now. So it will be three-tiered. One would be for the elite athletes that we're really going to support in
Yeah.
their quest for medals already in the high level competitions, from the Olympics to the Asian Games, and of course the Southeast Asian Games and all of the World Championships. No? But there's also a second portion, which is the developmental. We will focus on the young crop that will go up to the next level. Again, this will be identified. We will be working with the POC and the NSA. The third level is where we come in, where we provide the facilities, where we build the facilities, provide the enhanced training. This includes from coaching to technology, which I've been pushing, technology-based, science-based, and data-centered, to nutrition, to physiotherapy, and sports psychology. This is where the PSC comes in, and we will provide that infrastructure so that the elite developmental athletes can be given enhanced training. Now, that three-tiered program must be supported, and this is also where the Godfather system comes in. This is where the private entities, we hope, will buy in through a very, very vibrant sports program that is sustainable and is, I guess, consistent. But I understand, and Quinito is very aware of the Gintong Alay program because Boss Danding was, then a godfather as well of a lot of sports. But, at that time, there were only a few NSAs. Now we have 54 NSAs,
Yeah.
and a total of about 74, including the associates and the non-regular. So it's almost impractical, improbable that we'll get 74 godfathers to take care of all of them. So what I envision is just to pull together our resources, and this is where we begin to create infrastructure for all of the elite athletes, as well as for the developmental athletes that we will be identifying. And this will be now pooled and given to these focused sports, at least under the Gintong Alay 2.0 version in this new PSC board. So again, it's a lot of work. We need to solicit the help of the private sector, and I think we can, because again, the PSC law is given that mechanism to do that. The PSC is mandated and is empowered to provide tax incentives to private sector, to private companies that want to support sports. It is 100% tax benefits for anyone who provides a donation or help to Philippine sports. So I want to leverage that. In fact, I'm already setting a meeting with the Bureau of Internal Revenue that will clarify this particular authority of the PSC, so that we can already pass this on to the private sector. So that's part of that Gintong Alay project. I'm hoping that it can be called something. Right now, my working title is Gintong Laban ng Atletang Dakila.
Wow, that sounds good.
Good. Very good. Yeah.
Come, Chair. Let's talk about a sport that millions of Filipinos love, basketball. Now,
Yes.
the Senate recently held a hearing. You were there. A lot of major stakeholders of basketball were there. Can you give us your comments about naturalization of players, the use of foreigners? Can you also give us your comments on the poaching, or is it really poaching of Filipinos going abroad, and the overall landscape of Philippine basketball? Where do you think it is headed, especially since we're hosting the World Cup in 2023?
Well, it's a great time for Philippine basketball because, as you said, Quinito, we're hosting the FIBA World Cup, and I don't see any other better time that when we can showcase Philippine basketball. Now, I guess we really have to get together, get our act together, and really show the best Philippine basketball ever. And the PSC is committed to helping the SBP and our LOC to host it properly. Now, as far as the formation of the national team is concerned, of course, that is the SBP's turf, and we are there just to support. As far as I'm concerned, in terms of the naturalization, it's part of the rules of FIBA. It's not because we don't have any players. It's just that it's part of the rules. And when you form a team, when you try to do something, when you try to equip yourself in battle, and if it's allowed to use a grenade rather than just sticks, why don't you just get a grenade? So I don't see any reason why it should be a problem. I was hoping, of course, Jordan Clarkson would become a regular local, but again, that's all part of the SVP's engagements, no? But I think that's something that we have to take advantage of and look for the best people that can help the team. In terms of the poaching, again, this is happening all over the world. And one example of this is golf. The PGA Tour now has a rival in terms of talent. It's Live Golf. And Live Golf is poaching PGA Tour. They're taking all of the best players. They got the third best player in the world in Cameron Smith. And it's because of the money. No matter what you do, there's an economic side to it. And so it's happening. It's something that I guess cannot be avoided because athletes have to take care of themselves. My only hope is that we can come up with some mechanism that will allow our local basketball to grow, because that's the only thing. I mean, you cannot do anything with what's happening outside of the Philippines, but within the Philippines, I think if we can create, I guess, more opportunities for players to get up in terms of their salary scale, and that's because more people engage in the PBA. We have a balance in the league so that the competitions and the revenue grows. I think that's the only way, so that the PBA can also have a mechanism to increase the benefits of the players. But other than that, I think what we can only do is maybe discuss this with our partners in the region, and hope that they will listen. That maybe we can put a little bit of a cap, just like our nurses. That the nurses are not, completely leaving the country. We put a little cap so that the talent outflow will be regulated in some sort. But other than that, I think it's an open market, and I think the kind of leagues that we will have will determine whether players stay or not.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. You have players earning like double, triple their
Triple, yeah. Coach Commissioner Willie said it's triple. So I said, my goodness, if it's triple, then you're talking about like 1.5 million. I mean, I don't know if any team can even give that kind of salary.
Well, Chairman, the Southeast Asian Games is just around the corner. I hate to rush you. But, lagi natin naririnig na, huli na yung training kasi walang funding, ganyan. So that's in May in Cambodia, and shortly after the Asian Games in September. So how are you going to fast forward, I guess, the start of the intense training para sa ating mga national athletes?
You're very right, Dyan. Talagang medyo nahuhuli na. Of course, the appointment of the PSC board is not even complete. But I'm already pushing it after having some discussions with the Office of the President. So we have included this in our budget presentation to Congress. We have a session or a presentation to the plenary on the 21st. So we're hoping that the budget can be passed so that we can already provide the funds for the training of at least 6 international events next year. No, I think there are a little more, but at least 6 major international events are included in the budget. So that will be fast track. That's why I'm trying to create some relationships there in the Congress so that we can really ask for more. In fact, the Senate some of the senators have said that they will really support this, and so I'm really hoping that we can get this passed and already given to all of the NSAs.
Well, we want to thank you very much, Chairman, for your time and for sharing your views and ideas. But my last question for you, if it's okay, is I know this might be 6 years further, but what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind when your term is over? Is there a plan perhaps to expand the Philippine Sports Commission so that there might be something like an umbrella organization that can set the pathway, in your own words, for success for Philippine sports in general?
Well, Quinito, my life has been devoted. Half of my life has been devoted to sports. When I count to about 33 years of my life has been in sports. And that's why, to me, sports is like a priority. And that's the legacy that I want to leave. I want to leave the legacy that Philippine sports is at the forefront of nationhood, of what a country engages in, that it is really part of, and that they understand that it is an integral part of making a country proud and progressive. And that's the motherhood statement. That's what I want, because that's in the Constitution. The Constitution says that sports is they will promote physical education and amateur sports. So to make a healthy and alert citizenry, and that's what I want to leave behind, where people will finally understand that sports, especially in government, that sports is important in society. Now, as in particular, to be able to implement that, I'm hoping that we can create a department of sports for this particular engagement, this industry. This is the only way for sports to really get enough budget to help sports programs. It's the only way for us to have a real network. We will have regional offices, because if you're a department, then you will have to put up regional offices. So the promotion of sports will be faster and the development will be faster. It's the only way for us to be at the mainstream of activity in government decisions. No, then there will be a lot more, I guess, cooperation and integration with other agencies and departments. So I think that should be an important part of our future. And with the president who has said that he will make sports as a priority, I'm really looking forward to that day when we can have a department of sports and we can really help all our athletes and of course all of our stakeholders.
Well, with you at the helm, Chairman, we're very excited, and we're always in full support of all your activities and all the events that you're planning for Philippine sports. So with that, Dyan?
Yeah, thank you. Dapat ata may part 2 tayo. Ang dami pang... but we hope that we're going to be talking to you regularly. And of course, if there's anything we can do, Quinito and I are always here to support your programs, Chairman Noli. God bless you. More power, more sleep to you. Working out so that you can have the energy to do everything that you need to do. And thank you. We're super praying, and I know that our athletes in the sports community has very, very high hopes for Philippine sports. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best. Well, Dyan, a very honored. I'm very honored, and I'm sure you are too, to have someone in the stature of Chair Noli Eala to be with us, sole guest in the spotlight, talking about his plans and the revelation that he wants to leave behind a legacy that might involve the creation of the Department of Sports. I think that's a major, major undertaking that would really establish a pathway, as he said, to success for Philippine sports. Amazing.
Well, yeah, I love all the things that he was saying. His vision is so grand, right? But at the same time, it has to be also very detailed, from the grassroots to the elite sports. Well, he's been in sports, as he said, for 33 years, ins and outs. So I'm very, very hopeful, Kato. Talagang our sports programs and performances and success will just become even better. And, one thing he said, which I wanted to ask him about, but wala nang time, he was saying that the PSC is going to be involved in infrastructure. So that's super important. Kailangan lahat ng mga venues all over the country where you can really scout talents, and then yung support niya for the identification of the young talents, that's so important. And then naintindihan niya kasi yung support na kailangan ng elite athletes all the way to the level of the likes of EJ Obiena, Kaloy Yulo. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. I'm anticipating that we're going to be producing a lot more gold medals and world champions. Of course, as we know, sports development takes time, but you go one step at a time.
Well, we're hopeful and we're optimistic. Looks like Chairman Noli Eala, best man for the job. So with that, we want to thank you again for joining us, and like and subscribe. Don't fail to hit that bell button for notifications. And Dyan, our sister group, Playitright.com, always has these products available for all of our viewers, all of our followers, at really super reasonable prices.
Yes, please check them out. It's Playitright.com. Once you look at what they have, you are going to want to check this site very regularly. They have amazing products, world-class products, super high quality, basketball, volleyball, triathlon, running, biking, you name it, they have it. And as Quinito said, super good prices. They always have promos. Tune into our show. Every once in a while, we have special promos that will give you even more discounts for the products there. So please check them out and support them. We would greatly appreciate it. Playitright.com. And thank you so much for watching Playitright TV. Until the next time, this is Dyan Castillejo.
Quinito Henson also saying happy birthday once again, Dyan Castillejo. Thanks very much.
Thanks. Mabuhay, Ate.